Hey guys, Lori at Loops and Leather here. Thanks for joining me today. So I just wanted to quick share with you a cool app that I found to count my yarn. So when I'm spinning and I'm done spinning or plying, I typically use either a ball winder and wind it off of my spinning wheel because my wheel is an old wheel. It only comes with one bobbin. And a lot of times I use my yarn weasel. It's an older weasel. And let me see. Well, this is the back of it. But anyway, the counter on it does not work properly. It broke. I didn't realize that when I bought it, but whatever. It still wraps a nice skein of yarn, and I know that it holds 92 inches of yarn. A lot of times I'll use this to wind off of my wheel, but the problem is a lot of times I get distracted, I lose count, and this is I found this app that lets me use magnets to count. So if you look on here, what I've done, so here's the app. Sorry for my hands. This is the magnetic counter, the RPM meter. This is in the Google Play Store because I have an Android. I believe they do have a version for iPhone as well. So I download this app, and then it opens up to this really simple counter. I have tied this stack of magnets onto the side of the arm. I'm sure there's a more graceful way to do this, but I did it to check it out, and it works, and so that's what matters to me. And if you get your phone close with this app open, you'll see that it can detect, and hopefully you can see this, it can detect that it's close to the magnets. So if I hit start and I make a rotation, it starts counting. And you can really get going. Whoops. Okay, let me walk around to the other side. Maybe this will go better. All right, so now I'm on the front side like I would normally be winding. And let me reset this. Reset, super simple. I'm going to get it closer, and here we go. 1. And this is amazing. I don't have to keep track, and if I get distracted or have to step away, I just stop wherever I am, and even if my phone goes to sleep, I reopen the app and my count is there. So I use bobbins that I get. Sometimes I have cardboard bobbins that are left from other threads. So if they've got sides on them, I save them. I used to use cardboard rolls from toilet paper or paper towel holders. But what I found was a lot of times when I'm plying, it would kind of fall off the sides. And I'd always end up with a mess plying. And so I was getting really frustrated with it. So I started saving the cardboards with the sides on them. Or, let me get one out of the bag. I actually just found these awesome white cardboard or white plastic bobbins from a seller on Etsy. You can search anywhere on Etsy, but these things are amazing. They're super easy to use, and I can fit either a drill bit in there with some like painter's tape around the drill bit to protect the plastic and the bit, or my bobbin winder for my looms. Also, if I put a little bit of the painter's tape on there, that blue painter's tape, it's enough to make that thick enough to grab on and wind off of my antique wheels onto a bobbin with sides. So I use these, and I just run, I've got an acrylic dowel. You can use a wood dowel, whatever you have, and I just slide that on there. Here's the end of my plied yarn, and I actually wound this off onto this bobbin just for the demonstration. Normally I would just do this right off of my wheel when I'm done plying. But these antique wheels that only have one bobbin can, you know, it's a little bit challenging, because if you have 3 bobbins, you have 2 that you have your singles on, and you ply on to the third. Well, with some of the antique wheels, you don't have that luxury. You have 1 bobbin and that's it. So you're always winding off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of join my end here where I left off on my last bit of plying. I've been doing some plying math with, or like chicken with my singles. I'm almost done. This is a 2-ply like cobweb weight merino with a single ply of superfine mohair from my Angora goats. So, all right, we're ready to start spinning. So let me reset the app, and I've got my bobbin with the acrylic rod just through this basket that I have on the floor to hold it. I know I've already got 630 yards on the weasel already, but let's go ahead and start wrapping. So maybe I'll back out a little bit so you can see more. Right. Counting how many yards you have can be a real hassle. You know, you're either using a nitty knotty, which is, you know, it's just very manual. So there you have it. So we've got 51 rotations. All right, so I know that my weasel has a diameter of 92 inches. So if I come up to my calculator and I multiply, or actually divide 92 inches by 36, that gives me yards. So my weasel wraps about 2.5, a little over 2.5 yards for each rotation. And then I multiply that by 51 wraps, or 51 rotations. Well, why is it giving me a fraction? Oh my gosh. Let's try this again. So 92 inches divided by 36 inches to give me yards. And then I multiply that times 51 rotations. It's a little over 130 yards. So I'm going to add that to the 630 that I know I've already got. So right now I've got 760 yards of 3-ply on my weasel. I've got a little bit more to ply. I'm still working on singles. But then, you know, once that's all done, I mean, this is just such an easy way, not having to use a weasel or a nitty knotty. That's very manual. And again, if I lose count, you're, you know, starting over, having to count each one of the threads on your nitty knotty, which is just a hassle. It's no different than having to count each one of the wraps on the weasel, or trying to do it by weight, things like that. This is just a game changer for me in not having to manually keep track of my wraps and calculating my yarn length. But I just, I'd rather spend my money on nice fiber and not have to spend it on more equipment if I don't have to. And this is just a really economical way to do it. I think I spent $3 on magnets and the app is free. So everyone, thanks for joining me. Ignore my cat. And please like and subscribe. I hope you like my videos and that you find them helpful with your weaving and spinning. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your afternoon and happy spring. Bye-bye.